David, I know you've got to go, so just quick few predictions I need from yourself. AJ going to Saudi Arabia to try to get his belts back from Andy Ruiz Jr. Just give me a quick prediction on that fight. How do you see that fight playing out?
My prediction after Joshua-Chisora yesterday when he sparred with AJ, he said he's boxing long, he's in good shape, he's fit, he's fast, he's accurate, he's doing all the things he needs to do to keep the fight at long range, using the jab, quick hands. He doesn't look as muscled as he did. He looks a little leaner, he's more built for a 12-round fight. So I'm looking at Joshua winning a unanimous points decision of Andy Ruiz Jr. That's my prediction. As long as he doesn't stand there trading punches. If he starts trading punches, it's a toss of a coin. If he keeps it long, and every time Andy Ruiz Jr. gets close to him, hold him, lean on him, push him down, do anything other than just stand there trading with him, he'll win the fight and win it conclusively.
And just another fight I need to ask you about. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, Part 2. Talk to me about that one.
Yeah, I think if there was ever a chance that Luis Ortiz had a chance to beat Deontay Wilder, it was the last time. It's the last time they fought. He had him reeling on the ropes. He just couldn't close the show. He didn't have the fitness. He didn't have the engine to maintain the pace. That's what happens when you get to like 65 years of old. You don't have the same engine you used to have. I don't care what his passport says. You know, he's going to get knocked out probably in the first or second round in this fight. I think Deontay's on a high. He knows he can knock him out. He's done it already before. He's not going to be as cautious. He's going to be. He knows. How long was that? A year ago that fight. Yeah. You know, he knows Luis Ortiz is another year older. You know, he's a lot closer to 100 than he is Deontay Wilder's age. So I think it's going to be a very conclusive, devastating, showreel victory from Deontay Wilder. I saw Luis Ortiz in the press. He just looks overweight. He doesn't look like he doesn't look as motivated as he did for the first fight. You know, I don't know. I get why he's fighting him. You know, I think Ortiz had the most success with Wilder as anyone's ever had with him before. So, off the strength of that, people maybe want to see it. But I just think he's going to blast him in 1 or 2 rounds, real devastating. Like.
Finally, this weekend we saw a big UFC event, an event that we saw Masvidal fight Nate Diaz. And whilst that fight was happening, they had to put Canelo on hold until that fight finished. Does that show sort of the superiority or the emergence of UFC when it comes to these big fights now? Because they actually had to put the number one star of boxing on hold until that fight happened. So what do you make of that situation?
It's a bit unfortunate. I know the fights went long with the UFC and the fights were short on the Canelo card with Garcia knocking him out in 1 round or whatever it was. So I understand why it happened. You know, boxing's about numbers. It's about viewing figures. And why would Canelo, particularly if it's a pay-per-view event, risk? It wasn't a pay-per-view, it was on DAZN. It wasn't DAZN. But why would they risk the viewing figures by putting it on at the same time as the UFC? The UFC and boxing fans, similar type of fans. So I wouldn't want to go head-to-head with a UFC. I wouldn't go head-to-head with Nate Diaz. What's the point of doing that? It's like, particularly if you just wait an hour. Yeah. Be a bit frustrating sitting in the change room, but if it affects the numbers by significant portions, then just wait. And I get it. It's frustrating if you're a fan. So why are we waiting for it? Normally you have a floater. Normally in Britain, what we have is if there's a big gap, you have a fighter warmed up, ready to go. So you have some fights in the interim, just in case that happens. Maybe they're going to start doing that in America. I thought they would have had it at such a big event. It wouldn't have cost much. People would fight for free to fight on that undercard, particularly if it's right before Canelo. So they should have had some undercard fights ready to continue to fight. You know, but you know, they didn't, and people were sitting there for an hour and a half or whatever it was. I know I wasn't predicting to stay up till 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning watching it. My eyeballs are dried out my head, but it was worth the wait. Canelo. It was worth the wait, and if Canelo was going to be any better without that wait, then I don't know what he would have done. Because it's a punch perfect performance, and you know, Canelo proved that for me, he's pound for pound number one fighter on the planet. You know, the pound for pound fighter who's number one is willing to give away physical advantages to his opponent to prove he's number one because his skills are superior, and that's what Canelo did. He went up in weight against a guy who's naturally much bigger than him and walked him down He didn't try and outbox him. He tried to what in his face and said, "You do what you do, I'll do what I do." And one of them ended up Sparko, and that was Kovalev. So Canelo proved he's number one.
David, I think team fight. I want to say 10 years world champion. I want to say you've had a great career, and you're one of the guys in Britain that a lot of fighters probably look up to now on what you've achieved. So congratulations. 10 years on, it's been very quick, but congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David Haye.
It's been a fun ride. It's been a fun journey so far, and hopefully you'll get even more excitement with Derek next year. Ooh.